Soldier, wake up. You have no right to sleep during the war, because your wage, which is Christ, has already been paid. While the war is on, there is no time to study one's defences. It is time to act, and act fast. That is why it is necessary to know the strategies of the enemy before engaging oneself in this battle of the Rosary. The first attack of the enemy will be to make one lose sight of the just reasons of this war, to make reparation for the outrages committed against the King and the Queen, towards the Sacred Heart and the Immaculate Heart of Mary. They have been surrounded by my own sins, and I have to relieve them by prayers and reparation. I have to know my enemy, their number, their strength, without which I'm going to be surprised and defeated, even before the war starts. The first enemy is the world, organised like an enormous conspiracy, a cabal which wants to keep me from all attempts to pray, all efforts to fight and do battle for the Queen. Before fighting the war, it is necessary to learn how to fight, and the little skirmishes with the enemy are there to help me in my lessons. But be careful. A tactic of the enemy is to make one believe that only the skirmishes are necessary and required to help the Queen. But she has requested the Rosary. She is in state of war against her enemies, and she does not know any half measures when it comes to acting to reconquer the kingdom of her Son, to fight back and repair the immense breaches that I have opened in her Sacred Heart. Just before starting battle, before I take my rosary in my hands to start my first attack of the day, the enemy approaches with his soldiers towards the reinforced camp. He announces the propositions of peace.
Do not make war but peace. Do not say the chaplet nor the rosary, but only a personal prayer. Pray in your own words.
How many soldiers fall dead in mortal sin for having signed this false peace in neglecting the Rosary? Our planet is littered with these uncountable deaths. It is the mass grave of the 1960s. On seeing himself unmasked, the enemy brings out his arms and fires point blank at me, making fun of me. Are you going to be one of these windbags, flashing cymbals, an old woman that prattles on and on? This attack, so close and so deadly, could stop more than one, but when at war, to hesitate is to have already been defeated. And so it is necessary to run and take refuge and turn round on one's heels, make one's way to the stronghold of the Immaculata, and tell her about the point-blank attack, so that if ever the poison of these cruel arrows infects us, she would be able to bring the remedy. In the War of the Holy Rosary, the soldiers that are truly zealous for the Queen are everything but superheroes. They fall, like others, in the field of battle with cruel wounds. Even if it is true that the soldiers of the Queen fall into sin like all other men, and are therefore wounded, the Queen nevertheless never abandons them and brings them relief. This is not, therefore, because the soldier falls into venial sin that he has to remove his armour of the Rosary. Much more to the contrary, it is because he knows himself to be a sinner that he has to preserve his protection, without which the enemy, seeing him naked on the ground, will run in order to finish him off by mortal sin. All the distractions that one can avoid, it is necessary to push them back like one would do in a mortar fire. To stop the mortar, it is necessary to go to the source, to those who load it. And therefore, for all these external distractions to stop, it is necessary to do it in a lively and clear manner. The enemy, not being able to play with mortar fire, will engulf you in smoke. He will send his fiery darts on the tinder of your imagination, provoking thereby the big black smoke which would make you lose your attention in the service of the Queen. This is a war, more tiresome than the other one, but it is very meritorious if one fights in peace. Ave Maria.